Taking a live look now at the roads this morning. It is extremely icy out there, especially on those side roads. The city of Spokane says they're treating the larger main roads with de-icers, so be sure to take extra precautions if you need to head out the door this morning. Good morning and thank you for starting your day with us with KREM. I'm Cody Proctor. Tim and Channing are off on this Wednesday. As we see single-digit temperatures across our region, we're bringing you up with KREM team coverage all morning long. Nicole Hernandez is live this morning to tell us how to stay safe in this extreme weather. But before we get to her, meteorologist Thomas Patrick is in our outdoor weather center with a look at the forecast heading into the rest of the week. Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, Cody. From the chilly outdoor weather center, temperatures still hovering in the single digits for the most part, including here on the South Hill at 9 degrees. That's about where we've been most of this morning. Some spots colder than others. It's actually 5 right now in Coeur d'Alene, -2 in St. Mary's, where it has been below 0 all morning long. Over in Pullman, 9 degrees is actually a big improvement from just about an hour or two ago when that temperature got down to 0 we saw on the current temperatures. But it's not just that, it's also a bit of a wind. A 9-mile-per-hour wind doesn't sound like much, but it's like an exponential factor with how cold and how windy it is. Even a small adjustment, a little bit colder, a little bit windier, just multiplies a bit more in terms of the wind chill. In this case, it feels like -4 right now when you take in how cold versus how windy it is. And that's been the case, the most extreme case over the Okanagan Valley, where the winds have been the strongest. The winds tend to funnel through the Okanagan Valley when we get a strong northerly wind. Thus, the wind chills could be as cold as -20 once again for this morning. A bit of light snow, including a light dusting here on the South Hill. A little bit of some activity moving through the Palouse. This is not going to accumulate very much. It's actually a pretty underwhelming system overall. We're expecting a much more substantial snowfall for tomorrow morning, and that does include Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. This is already before 6 o'clock in the morning. So at this point tomorrow, we will have a fresh coating of 1 to 2 inches of snow on the ground, and this is just the first of what is actually 2 waves of snowfall we are tracking. So we're timing out this system and showing you how much snow to expect before we finish out this year.
Thomas, thank you so much. And these cold temperatures can be dangerous if you're outside for too long. Even when taking extra precautions, you might still find yourself outside dealing with these absolutely frigid temperatures. Nicole Hernandez joining us now live with a look at this extreme weather. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Cody. It is, like you mentioned, extremely cold out here. We're actually standing here on the South Hill specifically because the sign behind us is showing that 8 degrees out here. Feels even colder than that, like Thomas Patrick had mentioned. So I want to go over tips because we're all completely bundled up here. I've been getting in and out of the warm car, got gloves on, hat on, and I still am feeling the effects of those cold temperatures. So that, of course, is affecting your body if you are staying out in this cold weather for more than just a short amount of time. So take a look here. Here are some tips for what you should look out for as you're out in this cold weather. So one thing to know is that if you're feeling any confusion, you're disoriented, or you're fumbling with tasks, those are signs of hypothermia. You can get frostbite as well after just a small amount of time if you aren't covered up correctly. So look out for red skin, numbness, and blisters. Those are signs of frostbite. Now, if you have kids home from winter break right now, inside activities are going to be the safest for them. If you work outside for your job, OSHA says employers should train workers on cold stress. Workers should be dressing for the cold, and employers should make sure that their work environments are as safe as possible using things like radiant heaters.
By the time you're shivering, you've already gotten too cold. And so at the first sign of being cold, you really need to get indoors and you need to start getting warm.
So once you get back inside, here's some ways University of Michigan Health says you can warm up. Change into dry, warm clothes, keep yourself moving around, and drink something warm. So one other thing that OSHA's cold safety page went over is not only just for workers, but everyone in this extreme cold can get dehydrated more easily because of these temperatures. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated throughout the week. In Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thank you so much. All very good tips right there. And as a reminder, the city of Spokane has opened a warming shelter in downtown. It's located at the Spokane Convention Center and open 24 hours a day until January 2nd. The city is taking donations for the center. They say the most requested items are socks and other winter clothing. Anyone looking for a warm place to stay is welcome. Also, a reminder to bring your pets inside. While most pets do have fur, many just aren't suited to extreme temperatures. If it's not possible to bring them inside, the Spokane Humane Society says to provide adequate shelter to shield them from the weather. If you're unable to safely house your animals out of the cold, Spokane Animal says they have spots available for anyone needing a place for their pets. And like Nicole said earlier, it is important to stay inside away from the cold, but the Postal Service still has to be out and about to get your mail to you. So here's how you can actually help them out. Keep a clear path to your porch or mailbox so carriers can deliver your mail as it gets darker earlier. Keep a light on outside to light up the walkways, and if you're able to, put a street address on your mailbox so it's easier for mail service to find. Now, we do want to make sure that you are prepared for the bitter cold all week long. If you would like an hour-by-hour forecast in Thomas's latest forecast, just text the word weather. It's right there on your screen to that number as well. It is 509-448-2000. 8:07 right now. It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time. With another round of snow set to hit western Washington, SeaTac officials say they're prepared as travel ramps up for the new year.
This is a higher travel period for us in general, but we have crews working around the clock to keep the runways, taxiways, and ramp areas clear of snow and ice.
If you have a connecting flight through Seattle, SeaTac says you should reconsider rebooking your flight next week if the travel isn't essential. Happening today is the funeral for State Senator Doug Erickson. The lawmaker died earlier this month, only a few weeks after telling colleagues he tested positive for COVID-19. Erickson represented Whatcom County in the state Senate for 11 years and in the House of Representatives for 12 before that. Governor Jay Inslee ordered flags to be flown at half-staff to honor Erickson. And starting in the new year, Washington's minimum wage is increasing. The state's new minimum wage increases to $14.49 per hour and goes into effect January 1st. It's an almost $1 increase from the current minimum wage, which is at $13.69 an hour. The Federal Bureau of Labor Statistics attributes the increase to more expensive food, housing, and gas. That's a look at your morning rush. New developments in the murder of 19-year-old Jason Fox, a Newport teen found dead in October last year. 4 men have been in jail awaiting trial. One of them walked free yesterday, but Jason's father says the suspect is getting off too easy. Now, we do want to warn you that some of the details of this case are disturbing. Kevin Belding, who's believed to have witnessed the murder, walked free after being in jail for 14 months. Belding pled guilty to lesser charges, including rendering criminal assistance. He was released, getting credit for time served. Police believe the 3 other suspects beat Jason to death and buried him in a shallow grave.
To me, that's obscene. You can eat popcorn and watch a murder and know where a child is buried for 3 weeks. People love Jason, and I don't think Kevin Belding's going to have an easy run of it here.
Jason's parents have used social media to raise awareness for their son's story. They believe the murder was a hate crime.
I still believe that it most likely, in fact, is primarily or entirely because Jason was gay. I do. He was a good kid who was really on the verge of becoming a good man.
On the popular social media platform TikTok, the hashtag Justice for Jason Fox has more than 10 million views. Jason's parents want the 3 men to be charged with the hate crime. Their trial starts early next year. Coming up next on Up with KREM, the Omicron variant is now the dominant strain in the U.S., but what are the symptoms you should be looking out for? We'll tell you what health officials say may be cause for concern. And it's 10 minutes after 8. It's time now for your wake-up call. You have heard us say it over and over again this morning. It is cold outside, so we want to see how you're staying warm. Are you layering up? Are you enjoying a hot drink? Text us at the number 509-448-2000 or use the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. By the way, KREM 2 is the place to be for the latest on the Cougs and the Sun Bowl. Be sure to join us starting Friday at 8 a.m. for a pregame special leading into CBS's sports coverage of the game at 9 a.m. You can only catch the Cougs and the Sun Bowl right here on KREM 2. Stay with us.